You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, card shop, arcade, theme park, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
This is Tony Chimmel, and I'd like to introduce the hosts of the Game Marks podcast, George Feis and Johnny Clash.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast, presented by the Major Pod Network. I am Mr. Anything is Feasible, George Feis.
And I'm the man they call Johnny Clash, and today we are playing Pocket Pro Wrestling Perfect Wrestler, say that 10 times, for the Game Boy Color. How is this game going to hold up? Is it going to get a play it forever? Woo! Or a future endeavor?
You're fired!
We also discuss online gaming in Softlock and FWF 3.
And don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review for this podcast on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and follow along on all forms of social media at Game Marks Pod, and check out all of the exclusive content we are creating for our Patreon at patreon.com/GameMarksPod. Johnny Clash, how you doing, man?
I'm sore.
I was gonna say, hell of a match you had this weekend.
Last night, not even, I guess, maybe like 14 hours ago, I was in the ring, and it's, a little rust was shaken off because I'm not like a full-time performer here, and my whole like neck down is just shot right now. But some cool things happened. We had some match announcements for May 14th, which is the biggest weekend in Creative Pro Wrestling history, because May 14th in Melville, New York. Now I'm sure this will be streamed as well. We have Chris Statlander, friend of the show. Yep. Max Caster, friend of the show. Alex Reynolds, Johnny Silver, friend of me. Yeah. Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, bosses of the show. And
I hate when you say that there are bosses.
And George, Carlo Weiss called someone out last night, and I think he has a death wish because he said, send Hook.
Ooh.
And Hook will be making his independent and Creative Pro Wrestling debut on May 14th for Creative Pro Wrestling. Holy crap, Carlo Weiss, what have you done? I'm not coming out there to save you.
I feel very bad for Carlo Weiss.
Yeah. But then the next day, the same arena, the same place, FWF Live 3, we saw the poster posted. George, you're not on that poster because you're on hiatus to Disneyland, but Johnny Clash will be there. And I'll let you know what I'm doing as soon as I know, because there's some things in the works, and it sounds like there's going to be some fun that will be had.
You want to borrow the controller? I can give you the controller.
I might have to borrow the controller. I might need it. But anyway, let's follow up from last week. Champion wrestler Jik Yu live. No, George, Jik Yu. It was a double play it forever. It was a surprisingly fun game, and we'll see if today's game holds true to these kind of underrated standards we've been holding these games.
I love these hidden gems that we find on this podcast. We had a lot of people talk to us about Saturday Night Slam Masters when we first started.
Yeah,
probably one of the more surprising games that we've played. Obviously, last week's game, like you said, both loved it, very surprising, and I kind of crossing my fingers here that we get 2 in a row, back-to-back hidden gems here.
We should have named one of our shows on Patreon Saturday Night Smash Masters, where he just plays games or something.
I mean, we can always do that now. It's just him playing Legends of Wrestling.
Over and over again. It gets like 1 view a week. But WWE 2K22, I know we're still playing it. We're still loving it. I dove into Universe mode a little bit, as you heard last week. But it is on sale, I believe, right now. The NWO edition for $90, which I know sounds like a steep price. But compared to what it was at launch, I guess that's a pretty good discount, seeing as the game's been out a while and it is getting a pretty good reception and people are still playing it. I don't remember seeing a craze for video games like this in the wrestling world in a while. Obviously, 2K20 didn't have it, and I feel
I think that's why.
like when 19 was out, we didn't have this podcast, right? Like when it first came out. So I don't remember at least following the people, like the content creators like Dre and all them.
No.
So I don't remember like the buzz around it. So it's kind of cool to be here now and watch the videos, watch our Discord play through it, watch everyone just enjoy this game that we waited so long for, and it's finally just, it's here. It's good.
Yeah, and like we said multiple times, eventually John and I will be sitting down together and doing some playthroughs of our own, but we gotta, get through the busy schedule of everything that, John's got a little case of book too good-itis with things coming up here, so.
Totally. So I wanted to point something out because we talked about WrestleMania Night 1 last week. WrestleMania Night 2 did not disappoint either. We had some cool matches. You think we would ever see like another celebrity appearance in the game? I know we're getting Machine Gun Kelly. We're getting Logan Paul, right?
Yeah.
So that's cool because he had a pretty damn good match at WrestleMania.
I was genuinely surprised with the things that he did.
I think everyone is saying the same thing. Like, we hate this guy, but you got to respect what he did in here. And now the way he's defending pro wrestling after the fact is even cooler. And I hate to say he's making a fan out of me, but I'm not hating him as much as I hated him before that. But this is what I wanted to point out. WrestleMania, the sets themselves, have been in these games. And, when you're in the game, it all just kind of feels the same. You're in the ring. This one is absolutely crazy looking this year. The Dallas Stadium, everything is just the stars everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see this in full detail in 23 if we get 23 or if they're going to skip another year. We still don't know.
No, the game is 22 is still brand new, so
yeah.
I while I'm sure internally they have plans for what the next game is going to be, we probably won't know anything about it for a while.
It's crazy because it feels like yesterday, like I was sitting home, we weren't going anywhere, we were watching WrestleMania like live from the Performance Center with no crowd. How weird was that?
Yeah, but crazy. Now this is just seemingly how it's going to be, 2 nights every year.
Yeah, it's cool. Another thing we wanted to talk about, Retromania, one of our favorite games we play here on the podcast. Great dudes, great developers. We spoke to Mike Herman before the game came out. Check that out in the archives. I'd love to have him back in the future as well. They added Matt Cardona's NWA robe to his character in the game. Oh man,
robe.
It looks so nice, so freaking good. I like this. I like that they're staying up to date. I mean, the game is heavily based around NWA, and he's the NWA champion right now. He's doing the best stuff he's done in years, and I like that they're following suit here.
It's awesome. It looks so good. The details on that sprite are insane. But listen, I did want to jump back to 2K22 really quick and just kind of ask a question. Do you think we're getting Johnny Knoxville in a wrestling game in the next edition?
That's kind of what I was alluding to before. Like, could we get him in
Oh no, I just flat out want to know. Do you think it's happening? Like, there's no sugarcoating. I just want to know. Like, would you be excited if they were like, hey, Johnny Knoxville is coming, and you're getting like current day, like WrestleMania Johnny Knoxville? You're also getting like the last time he was on.
Yeah, you're getting like Jamie Lee Curtis, Johnny Knoxville. In his Smart Mark outfit. I think that would be great. A part of me wants to say he's too big of a celebrity, but you're putting Machine Gun Kelly in the game, who's literally the top artist in the world right now. So I don't know. That'd be something.
I think I only have one complaint about 2K22 so far. It's too short of a soundtrack. So you hear the same songs over and over again, because the soundtrack's only like, 12 songs? 4,
yeah, it's
8
like,
songs,
here's
something?
Bring Me the Horizon. Again,
yeah.
Here's Bring Me the Horizon.
Like,
again.
if you think back to like the SmackDown vs. Raw series, like those had like full blown like 15 track soundtracks, 20 track soundtracks.
I don't mind this one though, because this is like music we listen to.
I mean, the songs are great. I have no complaints about the song choices, but I just wish there were more of them, so I didn't have to hear the same 8 songs, 16 times while I'm sitting there trying to get my Johnny Clash Creator Wrestler to look just perfectly.
But you know what? That's what I feel. Okay. I guess this is something we could open up. Have you ever found a band through a video game?
Found? No, but become more of a fan of the catalog? Yes.
Okay, that works too. But Gaslight Anthem was in like one of the older NHLs, and that made me like I loved the song. I was 45 on there. That made me dive deeper into them. I bought the vinyl. I saw them at the Paramount. Like it just opened the whole world because I was like, who are these guys? The voice is great. I love this music. It's nice and mellow, but like hard at the same time. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe a shorter soundtrack will even help people. Like maybe this generation now will be like, oh, let me go listen to when Bring Me the Horizon was good in 2007. So
you're not a big fan of modern day.
No.
What was that? Like
sorry.
Shadow Moses is your cutoff?
About about there. Before pre-surgery.
Can you feel my heart?
Pre-vocal surgery.
And then John just like, I'm out. I'm out. That intro to Can You Feel My Heart is so good though. It gets me amped up.
All right, we digress. We have a game to play today. Are you pulling out your Game Boy Color at this moment? What color did you have?
The teal one.
Me too. Friends forever. I had a nice the back of mine broke where like the battery door. So I
John.
You too?
Yes.
But wait. Did you also use a Squirtle sticker to hold it on?
No, I did not.
Okay. All right, but I'm putting the nostalgia goggles on. I'm ready to take the plunge into the deep dive of Pocket Pro Wrestling Perfect Wrestler.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
All right, Pocket Pro Wrestling Perfect Wrestler, released March 17th, 2000, published by J-Wing, developed by Dream Japan. Like John said, this is a Game Boy Color game. Now, other games that are out in the year 2000, you have Giant Graham 2000, All Japan Pro Wrestling, Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, ECW Hardcore Revolution, ECW Anarchy Rules, WCW Backstage Assault. John? Any thoughts on that game?
No. Let's just keep going.
All right, WWF SmackDown, WWF Royal Rumble, WWF SmackDown 2, Know Your Role. That gets me every time. WWF No Mercy, All-Star Pro Wrestling, Fire Pro Wrestling 4. Say it, John.
The Wonder Swan.
John's favorite system that he's never seen or played.
The SmackDowns get you that they're all out in year 2000, but I mean ECW's games are also out in 2000. So.
I know, but it's like I love when we cover these years where it's like sometimes was it last week or the week before where it was just like in this year it was like 3 games. Like I love when it's like a banger year and you're like, look at this. It's like 12 games that came out. This is awesome.
This is awesome. But let's go back to the Game Boy Color itself for a minute. Because what accessories did you have? Because I had the other battery door that had the built-in battery pack that you had to rest on the charger, and then I also had the little light, the little like a swivel light
with like the curly straw
little
light.
spiral.
Yeah, I had that. A lot of the accessories that I had were for the big gray VHS style.
That too.
I had that big magnifying glass for the big gray one.
Yeah.
I had because that one also had a light in it as well.
Yep. That little gray little switch on top.
And I want to say there was some kind of attachment that made the controls pop out.
I didn't have that, but I did see that in a video recently where
maybe
someone
that's what I'm
puts like
thinking of. That's why
every accessory on the Game Boy Color. But I also had obviously the link cables and whatnot. I found.
Were you a Super Game Boy kid?
No,
that was
Super
my jam.
I did have a bag that my Game Boy stuff was in that I found the other day, and all the Game Boy Advance games are still in there, but I don't know where my Game Boy Color games are. But how mind-blowing when this came out, because we were so used to that green and I guess you could say green and gray screen, whatever it was, and then all of a sudden you had this, and it was just amazing.
And it even applied some color saturation over like the original Game Boy game. So like even those games still had some color.
Yeah. Definitely not much.
What a great console Game Boy Color was.
Yeah. All of them, yeah.
They don't make them like they used to, John. These things were built like bricks.
They were
could
bricks.
Not break them.
Now let's talk about this week's game. It was released exclusively in Japan. It's almost the same grappling physics as Fire Pro, so it's easier to pick up. This came out 1 year before Fire Pro Wrestling started coming to the Game Boy Color. It has a few different modes here, so it actually, it has some life to it. You have Champion Road, where you take on the entire roster to become champion. And after you defeat the champion, since there's no save slots in a Game Boy Color game like this, some of them had it, some of them didn't. I take Pokemon. You had a password here where you put in the password after the match or whatever, and you were able to pick up where you left off, because these matches are hard and you have to make it through the whole roster here.
Oh boy, yeah, they are a challenge, which is ironic because Challenge Road is the Fire Pro name, Champion Road is the game. It's almost like, crazy thought. Now, do you think this game comes out and Human is immediately just like, oh shit, we got to make a Game Boy game?
I don't know. They had the Wonder Swan.
Quick cash grab, knowing that Fire Pro is coming.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like it is still a different entity. You're not getting the same ring. Maybe the fan base from Fire Pro is like, I'm not playing this game because Fire Pro is coming out and I want the authentic one.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with having both of these. They are as similar as they are different. But Fire Pro, you're going to get like the death match and the gruesome fighting and all that. So, yeah, you don't really... I don't know. They're very different. But other than Champion Road, you have Exhibition, which is only 1-on-1, but then you have an elimination match, which is 3-on-3, where you pick the teams, and it consists of 1-on-1 matches until each side is wiped out, and your health carries over from each match. And then you have Challenge Match, where you take on the entire roster, just like Champion Road, but it's a higher difficulty, there's no password system, and one loss, and it's an instant game over.
Now, this has a, I don't want to say unforgiving, but if you're familiar with the Fire Pro Wrestling system, this feels faster, I want to say. Like, you lock up.
I could see that.
And then you immediately have to hit. Like, there's a little bit more freedom in the Fire Pro, depending on your difficulty settings, where that window of how long you have to execute a move is. In this game, it's like instantaneous.
Yeah, I think I say that during our playthrough, which you can find on our YouTube, how it's Fire Pro-esque grappling, where you have to press the button like timed, but it's quicker. So there is a really big learning curve here of when to execute the move. Yeah. And it's not... We say that it's like Fire Pro in that sense, but there is also just some very clear differences. Like with the rope running, you can go up and down as well. And to like reverse a move, you're not, doing the tap to reverse it at the same time. You're either hitting it or you're not.
Yeah. There's not as much of a complexity to the system as like we're used to. But okay. Can we talk about the roster, because this is probably my favorite part of this game.
Let's talk about it. Are we splitting it up? Am I going to take it, or are you going to take it?
I'll take it.
You'll take it? All right.
I'll take it.
Let's hear the roster.
All right, so your roster for Pocket Pro Wrestling is Samu Masaki, who is based on Tatsumi Fujinami. You have Hikari Nikaido, who is Kaiji Muto. You have Eiji Ibu, who is Masahiro Chono. You have Crusher Gaiba, who is Big Van Vader. Moriyama Taichi, who is Kensuke Sasaki. You have George Gorge, who is Scott Steiner, and probably the greatest wrestler name in the history of the world.
That's why I wanted you to read this.
Yes, George Gorge is my new... I'm going to start at Cap, and that's going to be my wrestling name. Iron Yoshida, who is based on Antonio Inoki. Ken Okita, who is based on Akira Maeda. Mr. Clam.
I think that should be your name.
Why? Mr. Clam is based on Jushin Thunder Liger. I don't know how you get from that to Liger, but okay. And you have Carlos Victor, who is based on Yoshiaki Fujiwara.
All right. Not bad. You did good. You did good. There's not that many here. Now, as we were going through like the sprites and all that, I feel like there was only one or two we could actually pick out of like who they resemble, and that was the Vader one, which, judging by
Blue Vader
the sprite, like in the character select icon, it's Vader with the mask on, like the Mastodon mask, but it's different in the game. It's like stitched and it looks like cloth. Yeah, but then when he makes his entrance, it looks like Vader's mask. Also, I think George whatever is Rick Steiner, not Scott Steiner.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be Rick, because it had
it has the headset on, yeah. So, I mean, there's a few discrepancies here, but it was a little difficult to actually see who was who. We were kind of making them up as we went, like, oh, this guy's Cody Rhodes, this guy's Alex Riley, and stuff like that.
I think you said one of the guys is Broski,
but it's easy to just have fun with this. I did not see Mr. Clam as Thunder Liger at all. Why did I call him Thunder Liger? That was weird. But you could see what they're taken from it. They're trying to be Fire Pro here. This seems like a trend in a lot of these off Japanese games. You just make someone that looks like someone and try to sell it.
Well, we still have to play the Exciting Pro Wrestling series, which is, you know about that?
Yes.
Which is just all the generic SmackDown ripoff games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think
are they ripoffs or are they the actual game?
Nope. Completely customized rosters. Not like you may get like Albert, and you may get like Mr. McMahon, and then you'll get like the equivalent of a rock hard Steve Boston.
Are you sure? I thought they were just Japanese ports of the SmackDown game.
Maybe I'm not thinking of Exciting Pro Wrestling. There's another game that is on the list that is literally like SmackDown 1 and SmackDown 2, and it's just like they reskinned the roster and changed their names. I thought it was exciting.
We'll find it eventually. Yeah, I think Exciting Pro Wrestling is just what they called SmackDown in Japan. I think that's the port of it.
Okay, so then I will correct myself next week and find out what game it is.
Which I gotta say, I've been looking for those because Video Game Trading Post, a local shop around here, which sells older video games. I bought in the detail behind me WrestleMania for NES. I got as minty as I could, and it was only like $6.
Maybe a little Vlogski coming up.
Maybe, because they closed up, but they opened a new one by you, and they're opening another one in Broadway Mall. They're opening like 3 more. So one closes. I guess the rent was really high, and they're using that rent for 3 more stores. And I've been looking. They have Japanese titles, so I was looking for the Exciting Pro Wrestling. The only thing is, when they line them all up, like all the PlayStation games, it's just Japanese title after title, so it's hard to pick through every individual one. And they also had Super Famicom games, and they're very limited, but I asked the guy, like, if you get wrestling games, like, can you call me? He's like, okay. I doubt they ever will. But they only had 5 or 6, but I would love for, like, a Super Famicom game to walk through those doors one day, and they actually give me a call, and I could put it in that display case with Liger. That would be fun.
Hell yeah. Be awesome.
But let's talk about the cover of this game, Game Boy Color. I'm trying to think. Like, I remember the Pokemon boxes. I remember Game Boy Advance boxes. Were these just square boxes also?
Yeah. I
still picture them at Toys R Us.
I think everything that we know for the American releases of games is the box is always very different international, where we had square boxes, like you just said. I feel like for like Super Famicom games, how we had for SNES, we had the horizontal rectangle boxes. They had the vertical rectangle boxes.
Right.
And I feel like the Game Boy Color games also followed that same style, where it was like more of a rectangle, vertical, because it gives you a better area for, artwork like this, which looks like a 80s cartoon.
Right, and I'm looking at one on eBay right now. There's only one.
Damn.
And yeah, it's rectangle. But I like How it's got the little Vader character in the background looking all ominous.
Looks like he has
the ring in the middle.
Hands.
Yeah, you know what? Some of these look familiar, so this is probably a part of another series we played. What do you think?
Oh, I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down here.
I don't know. I could easily just go right now because I think it's the Liger that looks so familiar to me.
You're talking about
Mr. Clam.
No, you're talking about our favorite Neo Geo game,
What did we play on Neo Geo?
Big Bang. Because it's Big Bang Pocket Pro Wrestling.
Oh.
Is it Pocket Pro Wrestling or is it just Big Bang Pro Wrestling?
Big Bang Pro Wrestling.
Oh, because it's the Neo Geo Pocket. That's why.
Okay. But actually, no. I'm looking at... No, yes. No, as in... I'm looking at the back of Big Bang Pro Wrestling, and the characters look similar. They're not the same, but they do look similar. I think that's where...
So that's an SNK game, so...
Yeah, that's where I think in my brain I was saying that they kind of looked like those characters. The guy with the little bird thing.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's a cool cover. Very cool cover. I like the illustrated style. The back cover, the 3 screenshots, and then just the explanation of the game.
That
ironically,
looks very Fire Pro.
Yeah, I was going to say, ironically, there's fire on the back. But I think they did a good job with the presentation here, and it follows suit once you join the game. So you're not really being deceived here by any of it. It's all what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to point out, I actually can't find a picture of this cartridge. This game is very hard to research, very hard to find anything on. Now, the cartridges for Game Boy Color, when you think of them, you think of those bubble cartridges. They have the little bubble up top with the Game Boy logo, and they're see-through. So, I feel like most of them had that. Like, I think, what was it? Betrayal had that.
Yeah.
I had Attitude. Attitude had that. But now, WrestleMania 2000 was a Game Boy Color game. It had the traditional cartridge style, but it was just black. Now, also look at the Pokemon games. Like, I think Pokemon Yellow was a Game Boy Color game. That was just a regular cartridge, but yellow. So it's kind of funny how they didn't just make them all like an updated version. But I guess that's because you could play those on an original Game Boy as well. With these, you can't. Right?
I don't think I ever realized that.
That's just what I'm thinking is there...
Oh, wait, John?
Yeah.
I found the cartridge.
All right. What is it, bubble or is it regular?
It is... I'm going to post it in the notes so everyone that is a part of our Patreon can also see it as well.
It is... It's
in there.
Oh, this is the picture I found the other day that I couldn't find again. It's the bubble, the see-through bubble.
It's the clear see-through bubble, but it also goes back to what we were saying before, where it's like the cartridge itself is the same size cartridge for a Game Boy Color, but the packaging is different, and it's mostly just filler.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Makes a bigger package that stands out. But okay, that's what I'm saying. You can't. From what I remember, you couldn't put Game Boy Color games in a regular Game Boy, right? Because they didn't have that knockout in the top that could get locked in.
I don't think you could. I think I think Game Boy Color played original Game Boy, but original Game Boy didn't play Game Boy Color.
But I think WrestleMania 2000, and then like games like that, and like Pokemon Yellow, like I mentioned, I think those would go backwards. That's why they're the old style cartridge.
Okay.
I'm trying to like dig deep into my brain here from my childhood, and I think that's how it worked. And then you get Game Boy Advance where you could just play anything.
Yeah, where we're just like, hey, there are no rules. The only rule is you have to have a Game Boy game and you can play it.
Yeah. All right, so the art style of this game doesn't look like Fire Pro Wrestling, and if you're going to compare it to, let's say, WrestleMania 2000 or Attitude, it's much easier on the eyes. It's more zoomed in.
Looks like a Game Boy game.
Yeah, a very small screen, so it's good that it's zoomed in. The HUD does take up a lot of room, but I feel like while playing it, it didn't distract me at all. It was just kind of there. I barely looked at it. I was really looking at the time and like the 2 or 3 counts.
There's a surprising amount of detail
Yeah.
in the sprites themselves and the ring.
Nice pop of color also.
Yeah, unless you're playing Vader against who was the other guy?
Fake Cody?
Fake Cody?
I think,
or fake,
I don't know.
or was it fake Seth Rollins?
Yeah, one of those.
Was a lot of blue Vader,
A lot of blue.
blue Seth Rollins guy,
Blue pads on the outside, blue J-Wing logo, blue guardrails, yeah.
Yeah.
But, the red, white, and blue turnbuckle pads popped nicely. There was some guys had yellow gear that popped nicely, purple gear. It looked pretty damn good. Not everyone was even the same, like, tan color. Like, there was a little difference in, like, skin tones as well. Yeah. And everyone had an entrance, which is all we really want in a game, right?
That was the other thing I was going to say that, like, actually really surprised me, because I always feel like in a Game Boy game, you're not going to get that, but we did. And they're not bad, per se. Like, they have the big spotlights, the entrance lights, the truss rods, and, that's really...
I think it looks really nice.
Yeah. How many times would you say over the course of your wrestling career have you put together metal truss rods?
Oh man. So I learned early on in wrestling that I let the newer kids do the ring, and I'll take care of the entrance stage and the music stuff, and then you don't have to do the heavy lifting. But yeah, truss rods are truss rods, and you always lose the screws, and you always got to zip tie something, and it could fall over any second because it's wrestling, and you never know who's getting thrown into it.
That's horrifying.
Don't stand under a truss rod that I put together.
Good to know.
But all right, we also get the character select screen is pretty nice here. You go through the wrestlers, you get their name, you get their stats, and you get a little image of them. See, now this is where I'm going to go back to last week's Jiku Live. How it had the character screen and then it had their sprite underneath it. Because no one in this game, other than Vader and the Rick Steiner, actually look like their character.
No.
So it was very hard to be like, wait, am I this one or am I this one? I'm not sure. So that's where I think last week we kind of questioned it, but I think that's what it's gonna, that's what makes it a little better, a little easier.
Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what the art style of the icons look like. It's very reminiscent of something. I just can't put my finger on it yet.
Yeah, I agree. It's like familiar. And it might not even be a wrestling game we're talking about.
It's not. It's just like another animated...
A little, like, Final Fantasy-ish?
It could be that. It could be that.
It also could be, did you know? Did you know the Machuto, based on the Great Muta, and Alexander Glass, based on Hulk Hogan, can be unlocked by inputting passwords on the title screen?
Oozing Machuto. Did you know Pocket Pro Wrestling Perfect Wrestler appears on eBay for $40 used?
And as we said before, there's only like 1 or 2 on there. It's very hard game to research. I'll say that. But if you do search this game and you guys are interested, all you have to do is search it, and a ton of emulator and ROM websites come up.
What? Wait,
what?
What comes up?
ROMs and emulators?
Oh my god. So the forbidden door has been opened.
Yeah, well, all you have to do is search the game, and there's like 10 websites that come up that where you could just play it right in there and check it out. Play through it a little bit. You only need a keyboard. I mean, it's only up, down, left, right, and A and B. So you could bind that easily to the A and S key, and you're good to go.
Simpler times.
Let's talk about the cheat codes quickly, because we mentioned you can get the Machuto, who's the Great Muta, and Alexander Glass, based on Hulk Hogan. So after you complete Champion Road, you get a little ending message, and that's what gives you the codes on how to unlock these. So for the Machuto, you hold select and press A 3 times. So a lot simpler there. Alexander Glass, you hold select, rotate the D-pad 3 full times, which is up, down, left, right, and it doesn't matter which direction, and that's how you get him.
That is, I feel like that one leaves a lot of room for error, but okay.
It does, but like I played GTA 5 2 nights ago on stream for us. You remember like putting in the passwords? You don't need them now for the newer GTAs,
No.
but like GTA 3 and 4, like I knew those elaborate codes just in my brain.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Rosebud, what was it? Colon, semicolon, colon, semicolon for all the money in The Sims.
In The Sims, yeah.
These are just easy, simpler times, man.
I remember all the original Doom codes for like infinite ammo and infinite health and stuff.
Fun times.
Codes stick with you, man. But all right, why don't you take us through some R&R, John?
I need some R&R right now.
Yeah, you do.
But we got some ratings and reviews and a Japanese game that's very hard to find, very hard to research. We have the game FAQ user ratings here, and a 4 out of 5, which is considered great out of 8 ratings. The difficulty is a 3 out of 5, which means just right/tough. Which, yeah, I could agree with. Big learning curve, as we said. And the length is a 2 out of 5. 20 hours played is the roundabout answer here. I could agree with all of this. I think, yeah, hit the nail on the head here. I feel you're not going to find this game unless you're looking for it or unless you're a specific type of wrestling game fan. So, or if you do a podcast where you try to play every single wrestling game in existence.
To think that we've been doing this podcast for 3 years and we've barely made a dent.
You sent me a list the other day of like the WWE games we still have left, the Fire Pro. We're bound to this forever. we're not going anywhere.
There's a lot left to do. Got
Plus,
a lot left in the tank, John.
We got to venture out a little more. We're going to do some more UFC games, you know.
Yeah, let's add to the list of 300, 400 wrestling games that we have and include more things.
Of course, but you know what else we're going to include? Because right now we're going to get our rating. It's time to rate the game.
The game!
All right, Johnny Clash.
That
Cutting you
was
off. All right, Pocket Pro Wrestling, Perfect Wrestler. Will you play it forever? Woo! Or future endeavor?
You're fired!
I'm going to play it forever.
Woo!
I was very, very surprised by this game. How once you get the hang of it, how easy it is to kind of get the grapple system down. And from playing, like I used to play Attitude all the time on my Game Boy Color. It was so difficult. The games lasted forever. You get crushed. It was just I don't know. It was impossible. It was not enjoyable. I would have much rather had this game when I was younger in 2000. So yeah, play it forever, hands down. But George, what say you? Pocket Pro Wrestler, Perfect Wrestler.
I mean,
Play it forever, a future endeavor.
what can you say? It's pretty much Fire Pro for the Game Boy Color. How do you not love it? I mean,
That's it.
that's
it.
Do you? It's like the easiest flowchart ever. It's like, do you have a Game Boy Color? Yes or no. Do you like Fire Pro Wrestling? Yes or no.
Do you want a Fire Pro Wrestling alternative that is
For the
also
Game Boy Color.
a good game?
Yeah,
Yes
it's just
or no?
it's easy. If you are a fan of the Fire Pro Wrestling series and you want to take a chance and play this offshoot for the Game Boy Color, I think you might be pleasantly surprised, and I think John and I also were both pleasantly surprised with this game. So yeah, it's an easy play it forever from me.
All right, cool. Another double piff. I know you like when I say that. So,
It just sounds gross.
so are you ready to enter the soft lock?
Oh baby.
Final round. Fight!
All right, so the Soft Lock is a new weekly segment that we've been doing for the last month or so, where a Mega Mark proposes a topic and John and I debate that topic for better, for worse. This week, the topic comes from Soups. What's going on? How are you, man? Hope all is well. Soups says, I'd like to hear you guys debate the get good versus actually being able to enjoy online gaming. I got molly-whooped online last night because some jabroni spawned broken moves with his OP'd creator wrestler, and it'll probably be the last time I go online with 2K22. All right, so we are debating the mentality of grinding to actually be skillful at a game versus the toxic get better kid mentality of gaming where, you know, people cheat and then are toxic online.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing video games online since I was like, I don't know, 12?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go first here. So I completely understand what he's going through because it was SmackDown versus Raw 6 or 7, I don't remember. And there was this super kick move that people used to do that was, it would send you down to the mat. It was just like out of nowhere. It was just like a Goldberg super kick, and it would just, boom, you're done. You're out. And then there was like a pin hack where it was just not fun anymore because these people would make these OP characters where every move was a finisher, pretty much your No Mercy character. And you just couldn't beat them, so it just wasn't fun. Your record's like 3-47, and you're like, why am I even playing this game? That's where I used to do my little trick where I would rematch them, do a last man standing match, put DQ on. I bring the ring bell in the ring because it was the only weapon the announcers wouldn't say, hey, he's going to get disqualified. I would let them hit me, drop the bell, they would hit me, and I would win, and I would say, haha, and I would go on. But, so I feel like online gaming like that, in a sports game, in a wrestling game, in any sort of competitive game, there's going to be these type of people that, you know, if you're not good at this game, why are you going online and playing? I play NHL. There's infinite game modes right now online. If you're not good at regular old online, I'm going to play threes. If I'm not good at threes, I'm going to play the Eliminator. If I'm not good at Hockey Ultimate Team, you know, it goes on and on.
Shout out to
So I feel like, yeah, I feel like they kind of put more stuff in there so you can feel better online. But then there's games like Warzone where you could get extremely frustrated if you're in the game and you just keep dying. But I'll say this. Grand Theft Auto 5. Fresh on my mind. I just played it 2 days ago. That might be the best online world you're ever going to get.
No, wait, did you play that on your PlayStation or you have it on PC now?
PlayStation.
Okay.
Still on PlayStation. Because then you have to transfer the character, and then you can't just transfer a character. It's a literal transfer. It now goes off your PlayStation onto the PC.
Okay, because I was going to say, if you have it on PC now, I will reinstall it.
No, it's gone from your PlayStation then, and all your money's gone, whatever. I don't feel like doing that. My friends have it on PlayStation, so the occasional time we're going to play it, it's just going to be on there. But online, you can go to a private lobby, or you could just, I don't know, hang out with the regular old lobby that you just get thrown into, and it could be fun. You guys do missions together, kill people together, and it just becomes a whole nother... I don't know. There's not really like toxic in like an open world game like that. I'm sure there is, but I haven't really encountered it. I haven't played that game at all where I haven't just died laughing at things that happen. When you die, it's just hilarious. What do you say, George?
Trying to think of how I can...
I don't know if I answered anything, but
I'm trying to think of how I can talk about this without going long-winded.
Well, I'll get the lullaby playing.
Yeah, I know. So here's the thing that I've struggled with for as long as I've been playing video games online. I've been a big fan of first-person shooters for pretty much my whole life. I played Counter-Strike when it was just a mod for Half-Life, when it was just like 1.4, I think was like the first build, and then I played all the way through to now playing Counter-Strike Go. I was part of a competitive team when I was younger and stuff like that. So like I've seen the best and worst that online gaming has to offer. The people cheating, the toxic mentality, and now you know, if you've come and hung out with us over the last couple of years when we used to do the live Twitch streams every week, even just like in Warzone. I mean, hell, even the couple of times that John and I played Warzone together, like, you're always going to come across those toxic people that will talk shit in death comms and just be, as my buddy Dom likes to refer to them as, toxic toddlers. They just can't get their shit together, and the only way that they can have any semblance of joy in their life is to just shit on people online for some reason. And you know what? To a certain extent, you kind of know what you're getting into nowadays when you're logging on and playing a video game online. There's a big difference between someone just having a really bad attitude when they're playing games, and like what John was saying, just like full on cheating and using exploits in a game. One is just a bad attitude, and one is cheating. And anyone who uses hacks or cheats in a game or anything like that, I always feel it's just like, you need help to play this game. Everyone else in this lobby is already better than you anyway. So if you need to hack or anything, they probably can't even handle the base game on their own. So I don't know. It's a hard thing, because sometimes nowadays I feel like people just say that whole like, oh, get better, try hard, you know, are you salty, like all those like just like generic things that people say when they get annoyed online while gaming, that now they've become such like a staple in society that people just say those kinds of things to get a rise out of people. So I don't even know how much of that kind of thing is legit anymore. If you know what I'm trying to say.
I'm trying to wait for you to breathe so I can get a word in. Yes, I get what you're trying to say here. There's always like, oh, look at this tryhard, or oh, it's sweaty in this lobby. It's like, no, you're just not as good.
Yeah.
Like, it's a sweaty lobby because people are playing the game. Like, oh, I was knocked and they killed me. It's like, yeah, no shit. That's the point of the game.
Yeah, and it's
what
also
are they gonna
just
light
like,
you up?
The only way to get better is to play against better people. But I also feel like a lot of people don't understand that mindset. Like, there's brackets in most sports, like, and divisions, because if it's like the level of play that you're at, and the better you are, the higher up the divisions you go. So like, it's that same kind of mentality where like the best, you know, keep advancing throughout all of the divisions, and then you get to that point where you're like the top of the top, and then obviously that area is the most competitive. So if you're I'm just going to keep using Warzone because it's an easy analogy. If you keep playing games and you keep winning games, and then all of a sudden you realize that the player base that you're playing with now, you're not winning as frequently, that actually is a good thing, because it means that you are advancing throughout the skill set, and you're now in a higher ranking than you were previously. So now you're going against more advanced players, where people always just kind of see that as a detriment. Well, now my KDR's going down. It's just like, that's not everything though.
All right, take a sip of water. All right. My final closing statement here is more games need more non-competitive modes.
Yes.
Or just more in general, so everyone could have fun. You can't just have one online mode, because it's going to get, it's going to get toxic at some point, and that's the way it is. But I think we've had our soft lock here. So what do you say we move on to gaming news?
Yeah.
Time for some gaming news. There's only one thing I really want to talk about here, and it's kind of in spirit of today's game. So, Fire Pro Wrestling. There's a little buzz going on right now. Matsumoto wants to do a sequel to Fire Pro Wrestling World, and he's gauging interest for it. Which he did this in between Returns and World as well. He talked about it in context of a new PlayStation Plus, which I don't know if you could just put it on the PlayStation. I know they had success with it with World, but you gotta put it on Steam, I guess, for the customization and all that. It needs to be there. I think putting it on Switch would be really good for that console. we've been talking, when is a new Fire Pro coming? When are we going to get one? I'm not sick of World. I just think, other than customizing and playing matches with your customized wrestlers, what are you really doing? I'm not doing Champion Road. I guess people are. I know there's DLC for that. Would they make it 3D? What would they do here? What do you think? What would you want?
So I'm trying to see. Fire Pro Wrestling comes out, or Fire Pro Wrestling World releases.
It's been a while.
2017 for Steam, and then 2018 for the PlayStation, the PS4.
Okay.
So we've had some time with this game. All the DLC is out. I think the was it the last one? No.
Last what?
The Stardom DLC wasn't the last DLC.
I'm not too sure. Because I have it on PlayStation. I have been looking to get it on Steam when it's on sale.
But I know that they released DLC up until, I want to say it was up until 2020 was the last big DLC pack. And obviously they still release patch updates and stuff like that, and the Creator Wrestler community is still really big. I don't, in my heart of hearts, do not know how they could really improve on Fire Pro Wrestling World.
So I don't think they will. Just look at the games we've played from start to finish. They're all pretty much the same. They haven't changed much gameplay-wise, and that's not a bad thing. I think Fire Pro World's biggest thing, other than the customization, is the license of New Japan.
Yeah.
But now, would they do the same thing with an updated roster?
Ooh.
You're not getting, the big timers that are now in America, unless, maybe you can, but a lot of them are signed to major companies.
I know.
I see your face. Is AEW going to put their roster in there? That's where you're going, aren't you?
Yeah.
They do. They did just put their shows on New Japan World. That is definitely an option. Impact has a working relationship with New Japan as well, the Bullet Club. I think that's what they're going to need if they do another game. Not saying they need it, but as this post points out, the old timers from the Fire Pro community are now over like 40. You need something to bring in a new audience.
Yeah.
Keep it alive. Fire Pro Wrestling for the Xbox 360 is not going to do it.
What was the Z? Is the 3D one? What's the 3D one?
No, Z. Z's the one that came with the book that someone pointed out in the Major Pod group that they found it in a library sale or something.
Oh, maybe that's why that's in my head. What is it?
Yeah.
Iron Slam? What's the Fire Pro 3D game?
Yes, Iron Slam 96.
Which is not technically Fire Pro, right?
It's called Fire Pro Wrestling Iron Slam 96.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, yes it is. Not one of our favorite games either.
No. So let's play devil's advocate here. Obviously, Iron Slam 96 comes out in 96. We are now in 2022. Do you think they do a more realistic representation, more of a, we'll say, 2K approach?
No.
They do a 3D model system, but it's the Fire Pro engine. Do you think they try to do that?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think you can do that.
There's a reason that there's not that many 3D Fire Pro games.
No, you have to keep what you have here. Look at the jump from Returns to World, how the textures and all that just look so much better now. And you could only upgrade that. I feel like World was as good as it gets, and you just have to build on that and just make it better. I think they just need the license of something.
Do you think more match types? Like maybe they do, like maybe they have the ones that we've kind of...
You have to keep the classics.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They keep the ones that we've had that are like that benchmark, that evergreen style, where you've got the SWA, you've got the deathmatch, you've got the UFC, but then maybe they do like some kind of
Maybe a ladder or
Yeah, maybe they do like a ladder match, or they do maybe like their spin on like a Hell in a Cell, or what's it called, or like a chamber match or something.
I think it's possible. I think that's what they could do. Add more match types to what's already there, and yeah, bring in the new generation.
Maybe they do backstage stuff.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on this for sure.
But all right, games coming out this week. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, I guess that is, for Switch on April 12th. Also on April 12th, Back for Blood Tunnels of Terror DLC. BIOTA for the PC. I don't know what that is. Also for the 12th, Planet Zoo Wetlands Animal Pack DLC. Uragon for the PC. Abyss on April 14th for the PC. Bush Hockey League for the Switch on April 14th. Also on April 14th, you're getting Cat Cafe Manager. And you're getting Crime Site.
Is that like number one on your buy list right now?
Totally. Tormented Souls for the Switch, and on the 15th, you're getting Taito Milestones. Yeah, I was really good at Diner Dash. You ever play Diner Dash?
I am not surprised by that at all.
So, like, I remember in college, I'm sitting there, right? We had a computer room in the Concerts Club I've mentioned here many times. And, like, I'm sitting there on Diner Dash. I'm at, like, the highest level. Now, at this point, class is starting in like 5 minutes, and I'm still sitting in this office. I have a crowd of people around me, and I'm sitting there like a cartoon, just going at it. Like they're chanting. It was it was the most insane thing. And I was like breaking records and going all that. I went straight through the class just playing Diner Dash. I was sweating. People were, go. And finally, I just gave up, and that was it. And they're like, no!
Is that what we have to look forward to for the next one-off John playthrough?
We should try it. I think there's a SpongeBob version as well.
Why is that your go-to?
What, Diner Dash?
No, that we're gonna play the SpongeBob version of Diner Dash.
Why wouldn't you play the SpongeBob version? You make Krabby Patties. Come on. I'm looking in the Steam library.
No, of course you are. I think regular Diner Dash is in Steam.
All right. What do we got here?
All right. YouTube.com/GameMarksPodcast for all of our weekly playthrough videos, exclusive content, and more, including this week's and every other week's game. And, hey, you know what else is on there? Every episode of Season 1 of GMP 64. And guess what started last month? That would be Season 2 of GMP 64, which you can now take part in if you are a member of our Patreon. You have a say this season. Make sure to check it out. Patreon.com.
There's Diaper Dash. Diaper Dash, Fitness Dash, Pizza Dash. Why are these all $12? Get out of here.
Why are there so many Diner Dash clones?
Burger Dash, Diner Dash, Hometown Hero.
Burger Dash is just Diner Dash. That's what you did.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, Monday we have the ad-free show and the video version as well. Tuesday, you get the show notes on Patreon and GMP Game Over for Feel the Bang. Wednesday, Future Endeavored. Last week I played WWF Superstars for the Game Boy. And this week, Georgie, you're going back to All-Star Pro Wrestling, a game we love to hate.
Can't wait.
We were going to get Wild's World last week, but that's actually moving to this week. You know, TK is a busy guy. He couldn't film it, and he's going to film it this week. I'm going to do my little edit ski, and we're going to put it out.
He's in high demand.
You also got a Clash and Burn episode where I was backstage at Create a Pro. Great heights. You get to see my before match, after match, and some fun stuff with friends of the pod. Phil Cardigan's in there and some other guys. Now, April 24th. GMP 64, high stakes. We're going to post a match card this week so you could all get ready. And if you missed the first episode, head on over to GameMarksPod.com where you could check out the Wiltzer report where we get a little dirt sheet rundown of the first show so you could get caught up.
He is back for Season 2. Hopefully he makes it the entire season this time.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, what are we playing next week?
I don't even want to do it, John. I feel like this has to be you.
This might be my favorite week.
Do you want the drum roll? Hit the button for the drum roll.
think only I could hear it. Sorry. We are playing WWE Day of Reckoning 2. Now, you know what that means. That means I'm going to have to do a playthrough of this one as well. The first one's in the archives. I'm going to have to play through this story mode also.
I like when we play the games that I know hold a special place for you. I don't even want to, like, I just want to sit there through your playthrough and just be like, just tell me what's going through your head right now. What emotions are you feeling as you play this game?
Hey, Diner Dash is free on crazygames.com.
All right, well, so then we'll do that then. That'll be
you know.
that. Maybe that's OMG this month.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. All right, cool. All right, Jordy, take us home.
All right, GameMarksPod.com/shop for all of our exclusive merchandise. ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod for all of our new shirt designs. And Patreon.com/GameMarksPod for all of our exclusive content like show notes, exclusive shows, and more. At GameMarksPod on all forms of social media. And make sure to smack that subscribe button and leave us a review and a 5-star rating on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you have a product or service that you would like to advertise on this podcast, reach out to us at GameMarksPod@gmail.com. John, I'm tired. I'm going to go take a nap. I think it's time for you to point at that sign.
Game over. Marks.
Game Marks Podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks Podcast every single Monday.